You don't get a second chance at humanity, Bella.
Wow, yeah. That line just hits you, doesn't it? Sets the stakes immediately.
It really does. Welcome, everyone, to Artificially Literate. This is a place where we dive into books, films, big ideas, and just get curious about them.
Exactly. Thinking deeply, exploring meanings.
And today, we are plunging right into Eclipse, the third book in the Twilight saga.
Now, I know some might think, oh, young adult fiction. But honestly, there's so much more going on here.
Absolutely. We're talking universal themes. Big ones. Choice, identity, love, sacrifice, all playing out against this, pretty intense supernatural backdrop.
Vampires, werewolves, sure. But it really digs into the human condition, or maybe the superhuman condition.
Yeah, both, really. Our mission today for this deep dive is to unpack all that. The complex relationships, those huge decisions Bella's facing.
And the philosophical stuff simmering underneath. Why does this story still resonate, even now?
We want to get into the why behind those choices, connected to, well, real life, right? The dilemmas we all face, maybe less dramatically.
Hopefully less dramatically, yes. But the core struggles.
Yeah.
Very relatable.
Okay, let's start with part one. Bella's choices, those competing loyalties pulling her in different directions. Her reality seems so confined at the start of this book.
It really is. Remember, Charlie grounded her, thanks to Jacob spilling the beans about the motorcycle.
Right, so her time with Edward is super restricted, like 7 to 9:30 p.m., indoors only, under Charlie's watchful eye.
And Charlie's described as being pretty crabby about it, too. It's such a clear picture of control versus that yearning for freedom.
It really nails that feeling, doesn't it? Being grounded.
Totally. And it's not just, literal grounding by a parent. It reflects that feeling lots of young people have, being restricted by circumstances, expectations.
Or even your own head sometimes.
Exactly. Your own insecurities. Think about today, like digital curfews, tracking apps. It's the same dynamic, just maybe a different form.
Yeah, that's a great point. Bella's situation, even with vampires, feels very human in that way. Chafing against limits.
It's about wanting to choose your own constraints, maybe, or at least who you endure them with.
And what's she doing while stuck inside? She's reading Wuthering Heights. Again, a battered copy.
Which is just perfect, isn't it? That book is all about intense, obsessive, kind of destructive passion, complicated loyalties. Sound familiar?
Yeah. A little too familiar for Bella, maybe. She's reading it right up to the part where Heathcliff comes back, just as Charlie walks in.
That's the moment everything kicks off again in that book. The timing is incredible. It's like the book is mirroring her own life, her own impossible triangle.
The turbulent emotions, the feeling that maybe this love is bigger than everything else, even if it's dangerous.
Absolutely. Literature as a mirror. And maybe a warning. It makes you think, doesn't it? How much do the stories we consume, the books, the movies, even social media,
do they just reflect what we're feeling, or do they actually shape it?
Right. Is Bella finding comfort in Catherine and Heathcliff, or is she kind of using their story as a script? It suggests our media choices aren't random. They feed something in us.
Meanwhile, you've got Charlie trying his own subtle tactics.
Oh, the soften Bella up strategy. Cooking dinner, which is apparently a big deal for him.
And pushing for balance, which really means pushing her to spend time with Jacob.
You can see his point from a totally human perspective. He's worried. He wants her to be, well, normal, safe.
Even if his methods are a bit clumsy or manipulative, as Bella sees it.
Yeah, but it's genuine parental concern, isn't it? He just wants his daughter to be happy and stable. And Edward doesn't fit that picture for him at all. He can't comprehend the actual situation.
No way. It's that clash between the normal world Charlie wants and the supernatural one Bella's in. That struggle between family loyalty and finding your own path.
A path that looks pretty dangerous from the outside.
And speaking of paths, the whole college thing looms large. Bella picks the University of Alaska Southeast.
Primarily for the weather.
Exactly. Remoteness and lots of overcast days. A clear nod to Edward's limitations.
But Edward keeps pushing other options, right? Finding these loophole openings for applications to other places. He wants her to have those human experiences she's never had.
He's worried she'll lose something vital.
And that's where it gets really philosophical. That tension between, like, practical future planning, college, career, the normal stuff, and this overwhelming unconventional love.
Which leads back to that quote, you don't get a second chance at humanity, Bella.
It's so powerful. It's about irreversible choices. Many young people face versions of this, maybe not vampire-related, but do you follow passion, even if it means giving up a conventional life?
Or do you choose stability, maybe losing something transformative. Bella's trying to juggle it all, even bluffing about financial aid for Alaska.
I've got it covered. Easy to get loans.
Yeah, you can feel the desperation there, trying to make her choice seem practical when it's driven by something else entirely.
And then there's Jacob. His pain is just palpable. Charlie tells Bella he's having a hard time. And Bella owns it. He's hurting right now, and it's my fault. That weight of responsibility.
She feels torn. Doing the right thing by Jacob, her best friend, versus making Edward furious. It's impossible.
It really shows how our choices ripple outwards, doesn't it? Especially hurting people we care about, even if we aren't in love with them. She feels responsible because his pain hurt me too. Jacob had become a part of me.
That connection is deep, regardless of romance.
It's about empathy, responsibility. How do you navigate that when your path causes someone you cherish so much pain? It's messy.
And that phone call where Jacob just asks if she's still human and hangs up.
Oh, devastating. It's not just jealousy. It's fear for her. Fear for the treaty, for his pack. His love makes him worry about her safety, even through his own heartbreak. It's incredibly selfless, in a way.
Painfully selfless. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Part 2. The shadows lurking, the threats building. Charlie's world versus the hidden reality.
Right, the Seattle situation. Charlie sees the newspaper headlines, death toll on the rise, police fear gang activity, just, terrible urban violence.
But Edward knows better. He recognizes the signs immediately. This isn't random gang stuff.
He spells it out. His kind are the source behind the horrors. He sees the patterns. Brutal violence, totally clean of evidence, no fingerprints, no DNA.
And the victims are difficult targets. Seemingly unconnected, makes it look random to humans.
The book lists names, too. Maureen Gardner, Jeffrey Campbell, Grace Rossi, Michelle O'Connell, Ronald Albrook. It makes the loss feel real, not just statistics.
And that detail about the amateur boxer vanishing from a movie theater. Chilling.
It completely flips the script. Mundane explanations versus this terrifying supernatural truth. It kind of mirrors our world, doesn't it? How often are complex forces at play behind things that seem random?
And how often do we just accept the surface explanation?
Especially now, with information flying at us constantly. We grab the easy answer. This story pushes us to think, maybe we should dig deeper sometime.
Definitely. And speaking of hidden depths and darker truths, Rosalie's backstory.
Yeah. Such a crucial counterpoint to Bella's view of becoming a vampire. Rosalie calls it a not happy ending. Flat out.
And that line, if we had happy endings, we'd all be under gravestones now.
Well,
So cynical, but given her story.
you understand why. Her human life in 1933. She was beautiful, maybe a bit shallow, wanted nice things, but also deeply desired a family like her friend Vera's. Husband, kids, the whole dream.
The dream that gets brutally destroyed.
Horrifically. Attacked by her fiancé, Royce King, and his friends. Left for dead. Carlisle saves her, but for Rosalie, it's not salvation, it's fuel for revenge.
The theatrical revenge, wearing the stolen wedding dress.
It's cold, calculated, but it shows that becoming immortal didn't erase her pain or her desires. It maybe even amplified them. That's the insight, right? Transformation doesn't fix everything.
It can trap you with your losses.
Exactly. Her bitterness, her sadness about not having children, her jealousy of Bella initially because Edward wanted her, it all stems from that lost human dream. Immortality came at a devastating cost for her.
It really makes you question the allure of forever. Is it worth the price?
A question Bella doesn't seem to grapple with in the same way, not yet anyway.
And then we have the Kilut side of things. The ancient legends.
Yeah.
Billy Black telling that bonfire story.
About Tahaaki, the spirit warriors, the first battle with the Cold One, the vampire.
And its mate, the cold woman. And that horrifying detail about the vampire's body parts reassembling.
It sets up their entire history, their sacred duty. It's not just mythology for them, it's why they exist, why they transform.
But the transformation itself has such a personal cost. Jacob feels like he was drafted into a war you didn't know existed, that feeling of finality.
It wasn't his choice. His life changed completely, involuntarily, which contrasts so much with Quill, who's actually excited to be part of the in crowd.
Shows how differently people react to huge, forced changes. Some find power, others feel robbed.
It's that loss of agency versus finding community. And then the surprise twist. Leah Clearwater.
Edward reveals she's also a werewolf, the first female.
Right. He says, she knows you. Her name is Leah Clearwater. And we learn about her bitterness, her pain over Sam and Emily.
It adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it? Her unique suffering.
Definitely. It shows how, even in this supernatural world, gender dynamics create specific kinds of pain and isolation. being the first, the anomaly, it carries its own burden.
It makes you think about unexpected changes in our lives, how they shift everything, especially if they break the mold.
How they alter our perspective, our relationships. Even in a world of magic, human complexities, social roles, they still matter deeply.
Okay, before we dive into the final act, the alliances, the battles, the big choices, just a quick reminder for everyone listening. If you're finding these deep dives thought-provoking, please do follow Artificially Literate.
Yeah, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. That way you won't miss our future explorations.
We'd love to have you along. Now, back to Eclipse and a quote that just captures that intensity.
I'll never see anyone else, Bella. I only see you, even when I close my eyes and try to see something else.
Chillingly focused. Okay, welcome back to Artificially Literate. We're in the thick of it now, part 3. Unlikely alliances, huge battles, and the real cost of love.
And it starts with that massive threat. The newborn vampire army heading for Forks, created by Victoria. This forces the ultimate unlikely team-up.
The Cullens and the Keelut Pack. Sworn enemies, basically. Bound by that old treaty. Vampires don't bite humans on Keelut land. Werewolves leave the Cullens alone. Now they have to fight together.
It's a classic case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? An existential threat makes old rules seem less important. Survival comes first.
And who steps up to lead the training? Jasper.
Which makes perfect sense given his unique background, his past leading newborn armies for Maria in the Southern Wars. Brutal experience, but invaluable now.
He knows exactly what they're facing. He describes newborns as incredibly powerful physically, but also predictable.
Slaves to their instincts, he says. All muscle and ferocity, no real skill. That predictability is their weakness.
His advice is so specific. Don't let them get their arms around you, and don't go for the obvious kill, because that's all the newborns will expect.
And that demonstration with Alice, where she anticipates his moves even with her eyes closed, it shows strategy beats brute force.
It's about understanding weaknesses, using specialized knowledge, even if that knowledge comes from a dark past like Jasper's.
Right. His trauma becomes their asset. It's a lesson, isn't it? Expertise can come from unexpected places, even from people you might distrust. Sometimes you need that unique perspective to survive.
Then comes the battle itself. Victoria's final act of revenge against Edward for killing James. She wants Bella dead, but more than that, she wants Edward to suffer.
Pure sadism.
Oh.
But Edward turns the tables, not just physically, but psychologically, his attack on Riley.
Yeah, telling Riley that Victoria was just using him. Every kiss, every touch was a lie. That's brutal.
It completely shatters Riley's motivation, his focus. Makes him vulnerable. It shows that emotions, loyalties, betrayal, they're weapons too. Cunning can be more effective than strength.
And the fight itself is swift, efficient. Edward dispatching Victoria is described as coolly businesslike. Seth helps take down Riley. It's violent, but almost calculated.
It underscores that these beings, despite their power, are driven by complex motives, revenge, loyalty, self-preservation, and they understand psychological warfare.
But just as the dust settles, enter the Volturi.
Jane and Felix. Not to help, but to judge. Broken rules demand a consequence. They're the law enforcement of the vampire world, absolute law.
And their judgment falls on Gree, the young newborn who surrendered. They execute her.
So cold. The Volturi represent inflexible justice. No mercy, no exceptions. Bree was just a pawn, really, but she broke the rules by existing as an uncontrolled newborn.
Her fate is heartbreaking. The loss of innocence, the harsh reality of their world. It makes you think about human justice systems versus this kind of absolute unfeeling enforcement.
What happens when rules are applied without any room for compassion or context? It's a chilling look at power without empathy.
And amidst all this, the human cost is starkly clear. Jacob gets badly injured protecting Leah during the fight.
His physical pain mirrors his emotional pain over losing Bella, and Bella's reaction is instant, visceral. Jacob. His pain had always been and would always be my pain.
That connection is still so strong, it hasn't vanished just because she chose Edward.
Not at all. And Jacob's explanation later, using the King Solomon story, cut the kid in half, saying he'd give her up to protect her. That's profound self-sacrifice.
Willing to endure his own pain for her well-being, it shows the depth of his love, even knowing it's not returned romantically.
It really highlights that true love can mean letting go. And Bella feels that sacrifice, feels his pain deeply. It's part of her own emotional burden now.
Which leads her to her final, unwavering decision about the wedding. She insists on getting married before being transformed.
I will tie myself to you in every human way before I ask you to make me immortal. She wants to do it responsibly.
I'm following all the rules, Edward. Your soul is far, far too important to me to take chances with. It's about honoring her human life, her commitments, before this massive change.
It's a really mature, deliberate choice. A commitment to order, family, respecting her past, and Edward's concerns about his soul. She's imposing meaning on this transition.
And then there's that fascinating exchange with Alice at the end. Bella asks if she'll be like Bree, the newborn.
And Alice says something really intriguing. Everyone is different. It might be different for you. I've never seen anyone go through this who's chosen it beforehand. It should be interesting to see how that affects you.
Wow. That opens up so many possibilities, doesn't it? The idea that choosing immortality, consciously and responsibly, might change the experience itself.
Exactly. Unlike Bree, who is forced, it leaves us with this big question. What does it mean to truly choose your destiny, especially when it's tied to others, and the outcome, the person you become, is unknown?
How much of us is fixed? How much is shaped by the transformations we embrace, willingly or not? Does the intention behind the change alter the result?
It suggests our choices, our agency, might have a deeper impact on who we become than we realize. A really provocative thought to end on.
A powerful idea about the nature of self and the weight of choice, as Bella firmly tells Edward.
Your soul is far, far too important to me to take chances with. You're not going to budge me on this.
And that determination brings us to the close of our deep dive into Eclipse for this edition of Artificially Literate.
Thank you so much for joining us as we explored these themes of choice, love, identity, and responsibility. It's amazing how a supernatural story can reflect so many human truths.
We really hope this chat gave you some new angles, maybe made you think differently about the stories you engage with or even the choices in your own life. Feel free to check out our other episodes, too.
Yeah, we explore lots of different books, films, and ideas. You can find Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much everywhere.
Follow us so you don't miss the next deep dive. We've got more books lined up. Until then, remember our motto.
Feed your brain, starve your inner fool.